So Gemini 3.1 Pro is here. In a landscape saturated with AI announcements, it's easy to feel a sense of déjà vu. With non-stop AI updates dropping from every major company, the constant drumbeat of new and improved can start to sound like noise. You might think this one is just another incremental bump, more speed with the same old results, a slightly faster engine in the same familiar car. I get it. As someone who tests every major model for hours on end, I've become accustomed to the patterns of progress, the predictable trade-offs between speed, cost, and quality. But this time, something caught me off guard. Something felt fundamentally different. Google didn't just make it faster, although the performance is impressive. They made it think deeper. They re-architected the core reasoning process. And that subtle but profound shift changes everything about how we should approach using it. This isn't about getting half-second answers anymore. The industry's obsession with pure latency is maturing. It's about getting well-reasoned answers, even if they take an extra beat to formulate. It's about the model taking a moment to construct a logical chain of thought before it responds. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here for this one. Today, we're diving into why Gemini 3.1 Pro is different. We're going beyond the marketing headlines to understand the mechanics of what makes it tick. We'll explore its breakthrough reasoning capabilities, that massive 1 million token context window, and most importantly, how you can leverage these features to crush complex work that used to take days of manual effort. This represents a critical shift in the AI paradigm, moving from a philosophy of speed at all costs to one that prioritizes depth, accuracy, and quality of reasoning. For professionals whose work depends on nuance and precision, that's the real win. Let's unpack thinking deeper. Most models are tuned for speed, predict the next words fast. Give them a multi-step problem and they stumble. They miss constraints, or hallucinate facts, or write code that looks right but fails. Gemini 3.1 Pro is different. It can spend more compute to deliberate. On complex prompts, it plans before writing, breaks the problem into steps, self-critiques, then answers. That internal monologue is the secret to better reasoning. Docs literally say, before answering, break this into steps. It organizes its thoughts, then executes with clarity. On Arc AGI 2, Gemini 3.1 Pro, 77%. Old Gemini 3 Pro, 31%. That's failing versus acing. Live Code Bench, ELO, 2887. GPT 5.2 scored 2393. GPQA Diamond, 94.3%. BrowseComp jumped from 59 to 86%. Number 1 on 12 of 18 tracked tasks. Across the industry, NVIDIA on stage with Jensen Huang. Sundar Pichai pushing deeper AI. Satya Nadella driving productivity with AI. OpenAI, XAI, Grok. Everyone racing on reasoning. Here's the kicker. Price didn't change. You get a massive capability boost at zero extra cost. Released February 2026. Flagship model for complex tasks. One practical upgrade. Thinking modes. You control speed versus quality. 3 levels. Low, medium, high. Tune for cost and workload. Low mode is for speed. Fast answers for simple tasks. Reformats, quick facts, short summaries. Medium mode is the new sweet spot. Great for detailed emails, coding small features, or moderate document analysis. High mode unleashes full power. It takes longer, but it's more thorough and self-critical. Use it for strategic plans, code audits, and complex research. Let's talk about the headline feature that fundamentally changes the scale of what's possible, a 1 million token context window. This isn't just an incremental update, it's a paradigm shift in how we interact with large volumes of information. To understand the magnitude of this, let's quickly define our terms. A token is the basic unit of text the model processes, roughly equivalent to 3/4 of a word. So, when we say 1 million tokens, we're talking about a massive capacity for understanding. That's roughly 750,000 words in a single continuous session. Imagine being able to analyze the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is about 500,000 words, and still have room for all of its appendices and your own extensive notes. Think, multiple big books at once, or an entire semester's worth of reading, or a company's complete quarterly reports. Before, the workflow was constrained. You had to feed documents one by one, carefully curating and summarizing each piece to fit within a much smaller context window. It was a tedious, manual process of chunking and summarizing. Now you can upload your entire codebase, all the associated technical documentation, and even video tutorials simultaneously. The model holds the complete context, allowing it to find subtle links between disparate sources, flag inconsistencies across documents, and build a holistic understanding of your project. And because it's natively multimodal, it reasons across different data types from the ground up. For example, give it a screenshot of your current website, the underlying HTML, your official brand guidelines PDF, and a video of a customer struggling with the interface. It analyzes the visual design, the code structure, the stylistic rules from your brand book, and the user's sentiment from the video. Synthesizing all of this, it proposes a concrete, actionable redesign that addresses every constraint. This power transforms workflows. Development teams can now scan vast, legacy codebases for security vulnerabilities and hidden dependencies in minutes, not weeks. Designers can generate complex, editable SVG animations directly from plain text prompts, iterating on motion design with natural language. And marketers can compress a month of competitive analysis, sifting through reports, articles, and social media into a single focused afternoon, surfacing insights that would have otherwise been missed. Now, let's shift to best practices, some necessary words of caution, and the bigger picture of where this technology is headed. To get the best results from any large language model, including Gemini 3.1 Pro, your instructions must be clear and structured. Think of it less like a casual conversation and more like briefing a highly capable but very literal-minded assistant. Ambiguity is your enemy. Precision is your greatest ally. The most effective prompts explicitly define three things: the role, the task, and the output format. For example, tell it, "You are an expert financial analyst." That's the role. Analyze the attached quarterly report for risks. That's the task. Provide your output as a JSON object with risk category and summary keys. That's the format. This level of specificity is crucial. Don't just ask it to do something. Tell it exactly what to do and how to respond, step by step. This guides the model's reasoning process and dramatically improves the reliability of its output. For complex tasks, explicitly instruct the model to first create a plan, then execute that plan, and finally, validate the result against the original request. Adding this simple plan, execute, validate instruction significantly boosts accuracy by forcing a self-correction loop. When working with huge context windows, like a million tokens, structure is non-negotiable. Use a table of contents at the beginning and clear labels or headings throughout your documents. This acts as a roadmap for the model's attention mechanism. A powerful and simple trick is to put your main question or instruction at both the start and the end of your prompt. This technique, known as primacy and recency, helps counteract the model's tendency to lose focus in the middle of very long inputs. You can also build in guardrails. Explicitly ask it to flag anything it's unsure about or to state when its confidence is low. This encourages the model to admit uncertainty rather than guess. Remember, no single model wins every niche. While Gemini 3.1 is a powerful generalist, the field is intensely competitive. Always evaluate the right tool for your specific job, as specialized models may outperform on certain tasks. And a critical word of caution: hallucinations are reduced, not gone. These models can still generate plausible sounding but incorrect information. Always verify critical facts, figures, and outputs against trusted sources, especially in production workflows. Performance is another key consideration. For real-time applications like chatbots, you'll want to use a faster, potentially less powerful model, or a specialized low-latency mode to ensure a responsive user experience. Looking ahead, the bigger picture is integration. Google will embed this capability directly across its entire suite of productivity tools: Docs, Sheets, Gmail, and even Search. This will transform these applications from static tools into dynamic, intelligent partners. We're witnessing a fundamental shift from simple question and answer systems to true synthesis engines. These models won't just find information, they will understand, connect, and generate novel insights from vast, multimodal sources. The theoretical discussion is over. The next step is for you to try it. Find a genuinely hard project, a dense codebase, a complex legal contract, hours of video footage. Upload it, pick a thinking mode, apply these best practices, and see for yourself what it can do.